Hey everyone. Today we're diving into a really cool idea. What if the best answers to our messiest human problems, like who to marry or how to organize your desk, don't come from self-help books, but from computer science? We're going to break down some of the biggest ideas from the book, Algorithms to Live By. You know the feeling, right? That moment of just total paralysis. The options seem endless, the stakes feel sky high. Whether it's a huge, life-changing choice or just something small, that pressure to get it exactly right can be, well, pretty overwhelming. I mean, just think about it. How many apartments should you actually tour before you just sign a lease? Or how many people do you date before you decide to settle down? Even something as simple as picking a restaurant for dinner is a classic conflict, right? Do you try that new place or just go to your old, reliable favorite? Turns out these aren't just random anxieties. They're specific types of problems we all deal with. And that is the absolute genius behind Algorithms to Live By. The book's whole point is that for decades, computer scientists have been solving these exact kinds of problems. Problems with limited time, not enough information, and too many options. And their solutions, these really elegant things called algorithms, can actually be used as practical strategies in our own lives. Okay, first up, let's tackle one of the biggest ones, knowing when to stop searching and just make a decision. This goes for hiring someone, hunting for an apartment, and, yep, even dating. And believe it or not, computer science has a weirdly specific answer for us. So, this is what's known as the optimal stopping problem. Picture this. You're interviewing people for a job, one by one. You have to decide right there, on the spot, hire them or pass. And here's the catch. You can't go back to someone you already said no to. So, how in the world do you give yourself the best possible chance at picking the single best person out of the whole group? And this insight just completely reframes the whole issue. The toughest part isn't really choosing between candidate A and candidate B. The real challenge is figuring out when you've seen enough people to make a good choice without accidentally letting the perfect one walk out the door. It's this super delicate dance between gathering information and finally committing. So what is the mathematical answer to this dilemma? It's 37%. That's it. Whether you have 10 choices or 1,000, the best strategy is always based on this number. It's the perfect moment to switch from looking to leaping. So how do you actually use this thing? First, you just define your search window. Let's say you've decided you're going to look at 10 apartments total. You spend the first 37%, so about the first 4 apartments, just looking. Don't even think about signing a lease. This is your look phase. You're just setting a baseline, figuring out what's out there. Then, after that point, you commit to the very next apartment that is better than any of those first 4. The magic is that you've gathered just enough data to know what good really looks like, and now you're ready to pounce. All right, our next algorithm deals with a decision we make almost every single day, the choice between trying something brand new or just enjoying something we already know we love. In computer science, they call this the explore/exploit trade-off. Exploration is all about gathering new data, trying that new cafe that just opened up. Exploitation is using the data you already have to get a result you know is going to be good, like going to your favorite pizza place. You can see the tension, right? Exploration could lead to your new favorite thing ever, but exploitation is how you actually enjoy the things you've already found. I mean, that's the classic dilemma, isn't it? Do you risk being disappointed for the chance of finding something amazing, or do you play it safe and guarantee a good time? What's the right move here? Well, the answer is just so elegant. The best strategy isn't one or the other. It actually changes depending on one single factor: how much time you have left to make these kinds of choices. And this feels so intuitive once you hear it. If you're on a short 2-day trip to a new city, you should probably exploit. Go to that one amazing restaurant everyone told you about. But if you just moved there, you should explore like crazy. The same logic applies to our whole lives. When we're young, we've got a ton of time ahead of us, so it makes total sense to explore lots of friendships and hobbies. As we get older, we naturally start to shift, and we exploit the deep, meaningful relationships we've already built. For our last algorithm, we're going to look at something we normally see as a negative: forgetting. But what if forgetting, or at least the way computers forget, is actually the secret to being super organized and efficient? The idea is called caching. In the computer world, a cache is just a small, really fast bit of memory that holds on to the information that's being used most often. Think of it like your kitchen counter. You don't keep every single spice you own out on the counter, right? No, you keep the stuff you use all the time: salt, pepper, olive oil. The rest is tucked away in a cabinet. That's caching. And this leads to maybe my favorite takeaway for our own lives. You know that pile of papers on your desk? The one you feel guilty about?
It's not a sign that you're messy. It's actually a perfectly designed cache. The stuff you've used most recently is sitting right there on top, easy to grab. The things you haven't touched in forever have sunk to the bottom. Your messy pile is actually a self-organizing system. So you can officially feel a little less guilty about it.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. These aren't just clever little life hacks. They're actually powerful mental models for how to handle really complex, uncertain situations. They give us a whole new toolkit for thinking about our lives. So now, you've got the 37% rule for making those big commitments. You've got the explore/exploit framework for figuring out what to do tonight. And you've got this idea of caching to finally understand and maybe even appreciate your organized messes. At the end of the day, life is messy. It's full of trade-offs, and there's rarely one single right answer. But what computer science gives us is a new language, a set of powerful, battle-tested ideas to look at these problems with a bit more clarity and maybe make our choices with a little more confidence. So the next time you feel stuck on a problem, maybe just ask yourself, what kind of problem is this, really? Is it an optimal stopping problem? Is it an explore/exploit trade-off? What problem in your life is just an algorithm waiting to be solved?